Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany. On my channel, I often will talk about all of the incredible reasons why I love raising my kids in Germany. Germany is an amazing country for raising kids, but that doesn't mean that life in Germany and raising my kids here in Germany is an absolute breeze and everything is perfect. If I told you that, then I would be lying, because there are so many challenges and aspects of raising my children here that I find really difficult. And I am not afraid to talk about these. I know that a lot of parents, they put on this act where everything is perfect, their children are perfect, and I know that there is chaos going on behind the scenes, probably not all the time, but what I'm trying to say is that I think more parents out there need to be open and honest about the good parts, the bad parts, the messy parts of parenthood, and the more we speak about it, the more we will feel connected and less alone. Before I get into that, I would like to give a big thanks to today's sponsor, NordVPN. NordVPN are an incredible VPN service. They are actually the fastest in the world. No other VPN service even comes close. It actually allows you to connect to all of the shows and TV from all around the world. As a New Zealander living in Germany, married to a German-Polish guy, raising our bilingual, bicultural children here in Germany, this is an incredible way to help keep us connected with our cultures. I just simply have to connect my browser, and just like that I have access to all of the TV series in New Zealand, the documentaries, the movies, all of the local programs that my friends and family watch in New Zealand. I have access to. I can even watch Shortland Street if I want from here in Germany. There's no lagging. It honestly just feels like I am in New Zealand watching New Zealand TV. My kids are able to watch all of the New Zealand kids shows in English. Not only is this giving them wonderful exposure to the English language, but it's also giving them exposure to Kiwi culture as well, Kiwi pop culture. So if NordVPN is a service you may be interested in exploring, they are actually having a huge holiday deal going on right now. Just click on the link I have provided in my description to get a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month free with a huge discount. Okay guys, so moving on to some of the things that I am currently finding quite difficult when it comes to raising my kids here in Germany. So this first point, I have talked about this, I have briefly mentioned this concern issue, and that has to do with homework in Germany. And so this affects people who have school-age children here in Germany. Kids start school between the ages of 6 and 7 here, and with school there comes homework. And homework in Germany is very different to homework in New Zealand and many other parts of the world, because German kids get a lot of homework. A lot of you will already know that I have an 8-year-old little girl, Amelia. She is in the 3rd grade here in Germany. She absolutely loves school. She loves going to school. I never have a problem getting her to school. What she doesn't like is the amount of homework that she gets every single day. And I've talked about this a while back, a couple of years ago I think, when she first started school. She was in the 1st grade and she was already getting quite a lot of homework. In the 3rd grade, she is getting even more homework, like much more homework than she was getting in the 1st grade, and it's just something that is an absolute battle. I really don't want to get too personal about this and focus just on Amelia, but I know that I am not alone here, because I hear so many parents in Germany complaining about homework, and their child doesn't want to do the homework and it's taking up so much time in the evening. And not just foreigners, expats talking about this, I know that a lot of German parents struggle with this too. It's very hit and miss. Some days are very smooth sailing with the homework, and Amelia will come home and she will get it done. A lot of the time she does do the homework very, very well and very quickly, but then there are the days where she just doesn't feel like doing the homework. Amelia's teacher even said that us as parents are responsible for keeping our children on track with their homework. So before they even start, we have to go through everything with them and make sure they understand everything, and make sure that they have completed everything that they are supposed to do. For me as a foreigner who does speak German but not at a native level, I struggle with keeping up with even 3rd grade homework, and the stuff that Amelia is doing is very complicated German grammar right now, and it's moved on from the 1st grade. She's in the 3rd grade now, and of course 3rd grade it should be easy, but for a foreigner who, you know, I still make mistakes speaking German, I am not able to help my little girl with her homework in the way that a German parent can help their child with their homework. And Amelia has kind of realized, okay, my mum is not always right when it comes to checking the grammar, and she's sort of reluctant to let me help her sometimes, and it's a real problem for us. My husband is a native German speaker, but he works all day, so when he comes home in the evening he is able to help Amelia with her homework, but at that point she is completely over it and does not feel like doing her homework. She comes home, she has lunch, she relaxes for a little bit, then she finally gets on to doing her homework, and it's basically the whole afternoon. I have 2 other children. I have a baby and I have a 5-year-old who also need my attention, but Amelia needs help with her homework. Not all the time, sometimes she can do it independently, but sometimes she needs me to help her, and what do I do with the other kids? It is really challenging. I will set up a little activity for Mateo to do, or I'll have Luca in the baby carrier, or I maybe am able to settle him down for his nap, but that's not always what happens. It doesn't always run that smoothly, and it can be really hard. If you're German and you're watching this, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, this is life. Like, this is what you have to do when you're at school. You have to do your homework. Every child has to do it. Why is your child an exception? I don't think my child is an exception, but this is not what it's like in every single country. Growing up in New Zealand, I hardly ever remembered having any homework, maybe a little bit of spelling and a couple of like reading books to practice, but apart from that, hardly any homework. And I know that a lot of New Zealand schools have introduced a no homework policy, and my sister's little girl, they live in New York, and she has no homework. They have a no homework policy, and my sister said life is so much easier without the homework. There have actually been studies that prove there is no benefit to children having homework, not to mention hours of homework every night. It can cause so much stress between the parent and the child, and that can impact their relationship, and also it just impacts the whole family. It takes away precious family time. Okay guys, so something else that I struggle with here in Germany when it comes to raising my kids, this has to do with school also. And I've talked about this before in a video. I did briefly mention this, and I think it was like a couple of years ago, but this is like an ongoing problem and something that's like even made me more frustrated over the years. Something I struggle with is the style of feedback that Amelia receives from her teacher. I'm not saying all German teachers do this, but it definitely seems to be a pattern here in Germany. I've talked to quite a few other parents of school-age children who definitely struggle with this as well. The feedback that Amelia will get if she makes a mistake in a test or in her homework, not just Amelia, all German kids, the feedback will be very, very direct and very harsh, in my opinion. I know I've talked about this before, but I have to bring this up again because it bothers me. So I will receive a test back from Amelia. The parent has to actually sign it every time a child gets a test back. Amelia may have done pretty well in her test. She may have received a 2, which is a really good mark in my opinion. But instead of the teacher focusing on what she's done well, she will focus on what she has done wrong and the little mistakes that she will make. Like, most of the test will be right, but there will be a few little mistakes, and the teacher will have a red pen and just cross them out. Then there'll be a little note at the bottom saying, Amelia, you need to practice your times tables with an exclamation mark. And how does that make the child feel? Instead of being proud of the fact that they got a lot of the questions right, they are focusing on what they have done wrong, and that is really stressful for small children. And Amelia got to the point where she was hiding her tests from us. Even if she got a good mark, she would not want us to see, because all she could see was this red pen. She told me that she was even having nightmares about the red pen and it was causing her stress. And it just was in all of her books, just this red pen, like crossing out all of her mistakes and correcting them. And I was thinking, is this just a problem with my child, or are other children going through this as well? And one day Amelia's friend came after school and they were doing their homework together, and I asked her friend, oh, can I have a little look in your book? And her friend said, yes, that's fine. And it was exactly the same, the red pen crossing out the mistakes and the really harsh feedback. So anyway, what we did, my husband had a bit of a meeting with the teacher and told her, this red pen, it's not helping Amelia, it's actually having the opposite effect, and it's making her scared of school. It's making her want to hide her work from us, and it's making her feel like she's gonna get in trouble, and the red pen is just not good for Amelia. Rob actually suggested to the teacher that she gave Amelia a little bit more positive feedback. If she's done something well, she could maybe write a little note saying, keep going Amelia, great job, and maybe a little smiley face or something like that. He even asked for the teacher to change the colour of pen that she was marking Amelia's tests and homework in. And we really did not think that this would go down well, but we were pleasantly surprised. The teacher took this feedback and these suggestions on board, and she made some changes, and right now we've noticed a huge difference. She has not been using the red pen in Amelia's book. She has swapped to a green pen or a purple pen, and she's giving her more positive feedback. I'm seeing smiley faces in the book, and I've noticed a huge difference in Amelia's confidence. Something as simple as that. This is something that happened when I was at school all of those years ago. You know, 30 years ago they were doing that. Teachers were giving you stickers and smiley faces, and isn't it obvious that children are going to respond well to positive feedback rather than all negative feedback? It's made such a difference, and Amelia's so much happier, and she's not scared to show us her tests and her school books anymore because they're not full with red pen and crossed out mistakes and, you know, harsh negative feedback. Anyway, well, that was a huge big rant, but this was something I was struggling with so much, and I kind of felt that as a foreign parent, I didn't know how far I should go with this, whether the teacher would think I was just this crazy foreigner complaining about this kind of thing. I'm so happy that Rob was on board with me. He did say to me, this is the style of teaching in Germany. It's very honest and very just, you did this wrong, you did this wrong, you did this wrong, you need to do this better. But he saw the way it was affecting Amelia, and I'm so pleased he spoke to the teacher about it, and she was really cool with it. And I'm so happy we did that. So if you are also a foreigner living in Germany, or just a German parent in general who is struggling with this as well, and your child is really having a hard time with the feedback they're receiving at school, you should say something to the teacher like we did, because something as simple as that has made such a difference for us. So anyway guys, that is all I've got for this video today. I know it was not the most positive video. I still love you Germany, I promise, but I do need to talk about the challenges of life here in Germany as well as the joys, because there are so many amazing things about raising my kids here and living in Germany, but I like to keep it real. Also, don't forget that NordVPN are having a holiday season deal right now. You can receive a 2-year plan with an additional 1 month free and a huge discount. So make sure you click on the specific link in my description to gain access to this amazing deal. Thank you so much for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. I know that so many of you who watch my videos are not actually subscribed, so if you would hit that subscribe button, that would mean the world to me. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!